Two of the most slept on primes in sporting history is Josh Gordon with the Cleveland Browns and Isaiah Thomas with the Boston Celtics. First, we're going to touch on Josh Gordon. Look, Josh Gordon in his second season was, it was unworldly. He was playing at the same time as Calvin Johnson, so if it wasn't for Calvin Johnson, we would look at Josh Gordon and be like, this is a freak of nature. And people, to a degree, still do view him as a freak of nature, but Josh Gordon with such horrific quarterback play. You know, Calvin had Matt Stafford, Julio had Matt Ryan, AB had Ben Roethlisberger. All the great receivers of that time had a great quarterback and just a general functioning offense and team. Josh Gordon played with two quarterbacks who threw for 1,800 yards in that season, and 50% of those yards were to Josh Gordon. He had a hair under 800 yards over a 4-game stretch in that season. He was averaging 22 yards per target over that 4-game stretch. I mean, he had 2 games over 200 yards back-to-back, followed with a game in front of 150 yards, and then a game at the end with 111. I mean, seriously? Josh, an NFL wide receiver is going to go on that kind of stretch. I mean, it was honestly insane to watch. I'm a Ravens fan, and the Browns stunk that year. I mean, they pretty much still stink, but at those couple years that Josh Gordon was in his prime, the Browns were horrific. It was when you played the Browns, and this is kind of a crazy fact about all this, is Josh Gordon in those 4 games where he averaged 198 yards per game, 200 yards per game, they lost all 4 of them. That is the most insane fact about it, is in those games where he was 40 yards per catch. I mean, it was absolutely absurd numbers. They lost all 4 of those games. That's how bad that Cleveland Browns team was. But as I was saying, as a Ravens fan, watching him play, it was legitimately like, as long as he doesn't do something insane, we're going to win. I mean, he was a one-man wrecking crew. He took the worst team in the NFL, and they were still the worst after him, and he gave them some hope. And then obviously got suspended multiple times for weed, which, I mean, it's completely absurd to get suspended for weed. But nonetheless, Josh Gordon is one of the most underrated in that era, with the ABs, with the Julio Jones, with the Calvin Johnsons, and then Mike Evans a little bit there at the end. People just kind of forget about Josh Gordon, and he's never brought up in the... And I know his prime was short. It was just a couple seasons because of all the suspensions. But Josh Gordon, you know, on a per-game basis, you could make the argument with his quarterback situation, he was the most dangerous receiver in the NFL. I don't think that's a stretch to say that he was just as dangerous as Antonio Brown or Julio or any of those other guys. Now, Isaiah Thomas for the Boston Celtics. Look, his prime was pretty short as well. It was, once again, a couple years. But his final season with the Celtics, before getting traded for Kyrie Irving, I mean, it was insane. It was insane. Averaging over 30 points per game. I mean, guys don't do that, especially on that efficiency as a small guard. I mean, a 5'8" NBA player. And not to just be a role player, not to just be a 6th man of the year. To be the leading scorer in the league, to be in MVP conversations, and, you know, at the end of the day, we all know LeBron was the most valuable player in the league. To go up against the Cavs in the playoffs with the assumption that we might win. Nobody in LeBron's Eastern Conference era, when LeBron was in his prime with the Heat and then with the Cavs, those 7 years, nobody was challenging LeBron. There was just no challenge. The only guy that anybody even considered could beat and could lead a team across the finish line to the finals was that Boston Celtics team with Isaiah Thomas. I mean, it was that crazy. He was that phenomenal. And just at his size, I mean, it's insane. It was insane watching him go into the paint. And he wasn't even, I mean, he was a good 3-point shooter, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't a, you know, Steph Curry-like player where you could kind of be like, oh, yeah, he's short, but, you know, it's not super important because he's shooting from deep. He was a slasher, essentially. I mean, he was penetrating the paint and kicking it out for open looks for other guys. He was getting to the free throw line. I mean, Isaiah Thomas was genuinely a very, very impressive guy. And, yeah, those are the two, I would say, the two sleepers for